Hello again. We are doing lessons on how to improve the grammatical part, that is GRA, grammatical range and accuracy. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to use punctuation appropriately, which is very important. And I kept mentioning that throughout my earlier video lessons. And I have shown you as well in many places that how punctuations are important. So let's try to understand the different parts of the punctuation. The firstly, how to use and where to use capital letters. So to begin, a name is a very basic and simplistic information, right? So to begin any name like this, for example, Australia, London, Alice School, any specific name, right? So we cannot use capital letter for the word city, but when it comes to Mumbai, so we have to use M as a capital. The same way, if you're using a name like we can say Lala Lajpat Rai Road. So Lala L should be capital. Again, L of Lajpat should be capital. R should be capital. Another R should be capital. So in a name, the beginning letter of each word should be in capital. To begin a sentence after the full stop, so that's obvious, everybody knows it perhaps. Where to use comma and full stop, that's again important. Full stop is used at the end of a sentence. I hope everybody knows it. And it the peaked up dramatically, right? When you say and it, so for there is a full stop and then we are using, there is a problem in this mistake. Sorry, there is a problem here. Sorry, it's a terrible mess. So there is a mistake in this sentence here, but it's okay. It is full stop is used at the end of a sentence, and comma we use if we have got a list of words. You can see in the beginning it was 10%, in 2010 it was 13, and so this list, sometimes in some English we use comma even after and. So if it is used in 2007 it was 13 and, so if somebody is using comma after and, that's all right, there's no problem in that. If it is used, if it is not used, that's again accepted, there's no problem. And comma with linking words and expression, and that is very important, which I kept telling you. So here we are using the linking words even thou. Even though the most people liked fast food over the next 10 years, see the comma. When this independent clause finishes, dependent clauses finishes, and then we're using comma and adding liking for local food kept rising. um, Example of such linking expressions I have already given you in the previous video. Yet if you want to go through it, you can go through and, but, for, nor, or, not, so, although, and these all are the expressions. You all are aware of this. Most of them had already been used in my videos. Okay, so let's go through some more punctuation marks. So this is apostrophe. This kind of marks, is known as apostrophe, this one. So where we use it, people's demands. So we generally use it when we try to establish a relationship between two things, or possession of something, like people's demand of people. So we use apostrophe just before the s that we add. But in some words, if s is already there by default, you can see here. So students, here I'm talking about a lot of students, so it's already there, so we use it at the end of s. We don't use it here after t, because we are talking about students, the demand of the students. If this is what we are saying, so we have to say students demand or teachers demand. So you can see the example, Delhi's population level was the highest at PS test. So Delhi's, so we are using this rule, right? The second one is using Cologne. This is a bit advanced use, but you can use it. It can give you better band skill. See the example, the process of making plastic products can be divided into three main stages. And there we can use Cologne if there is a sort of full stop that you don't want to use instead of that, and you're describing something in a way. So the three main stages: the production of long molecules from raw materials, the transformation from molecules to mold, and handling of, and you can use the see the use of comma here as well, right? And then this is semicolon. So immigration isn't a black and white issue. You can see that there are two parts of the same sentence, two parts. So rather than giving full stop, perhaps that will give an indication that both parts are separate, which is not the case. To say immigration isn't a black and white issue, it's actually much more complicated than most people think. And then using brackets, perhaps this is again important there when you want to give some additional information about something, so you use this bracket. For example, the graphs below compare the average monthly earnings of male and female graduates in three different countries. uh, Rather than saying that is, i.e., that we use generally, I hope that must be avoided. Instead of that, you wrote the name of three countries: Egypt, Brazil, and New Zealand. Right? So now let's see some of the challenges of punctuation. So I'm going to show you some questions, and you will have to immediately answer them, right? Related to punctuation. So find the mistakes related to punctuation in the following sentence. So this is your first one. So you have got 10 seconds time. Australia bought almost 2,500 AC unit in April, whereas the British only bought 50. So see the mistakes. What are the mistakes in this? First is this: Australia is in name, so that must be capital, right? Second is April. Again, this is the name of a month, so it must be capital. Comma is already there. So, and third is this British. So all three names that should take capital. Next question is: overall, the majority of students are aged between 18 and 43, whereas older students make up the minority. So you can see there are two kind of linkers are used: written discourse and linkers, and the comma is missing. So let's see this. So first comma overall, second comma is just before whereas, right? That's the next question is this: history, which sees the most equal distribution of students, attracts around 18 to 30-year old, which attracts around 80. I mean, there is a mistake in this question. History, which sees the most equal distribution of students, attracts around 18 to 30-year olds. So this 80 is a mistake here. It's a redundant. It's not be there anyway. Take care of that. But let's see what is the mistake here. It seems there is one linker. Perhaps comma is missing. Yes. So history, which sees. So we are giving additional information about history here. So it's not a continuation of sentence: history which sees this, but and then when this particular sentence finishes. So this is the example of defining relative clause. If you know, I'm going to do that in the next videos. So that's why we use two commas here: history and then additional information. So the sentence actually is, history attracts around 18 to 30-year old, right? Again, 80 is a mistake. So history, and then we are adding some information. So history, which sees the most equal distribution of students, attracts around 18 to 13-year old. Let's see some more example of punctuation. See, there is this one: there are almost as many 31 to 43-year-old who take literature as 18 to 30-year-old, with figures of 110 and 90 respectively. Let's find a mistake. What is this? You can see the one comma which is missing here, and that's important. So there are almost as many 31 to 43-year old who take literature as 18 to 30-year old, with figures of. So here is a kind of separation in the sentence, so that's why comma is used. Another question: in 2011, Denmark's figure for imported apples was 55,000 kg, around 3 times higher than that of Sweden. So again, I think it's clear that the comma should be here. There should be a comma here, right? Okay, so that's all about the example of punctuation that we have seen in this particular part. I hope you have understood it, and you must mark all the punctuation that have been used in the writing task that we have done previously. That will help you in rectifying your mistakes. Okay, so all right, thank you very much for watching this video. See you very soon in the next video. Bye.